Hey guys, welcome back to another video. I'm going to be casting a couple of games here for you guys featuring the Stealth Tank. And the Stealth Tank right now is in a solid position because there are a lot of air builds running around. As you guys know, the War Factor units have been nerfed, and there's a lot of new air units that are very threatening to ground units right now. You know, like the Orca Bombers and the Inferno Bombers. So, what's a great way to deal with those air units? It's the Stealth Tank. Now, in this first game, the opponent actually does not have a single air unit. As you guys can see, Wadkaz on the left-hand side here playing as GDI is all ground. And he's facing against his Russian opponent that's bringing a Stealth Tank without Scorpion Tank. So that's something very important to keep in mind here. But the Russian player does have a level 15 maxed avatar. So if the Russian player can get an avatar out, one or two, even just one, I think Wadkaz is pretty much screwed because the avatar, even though it got nerfed, it's still a very strong unit against ground units. Anyways, ooh, it looks like Wadkaz is actually going to go for a missile squad rush here in the beginning. Not necessarily, I guess. I guess he was going to use the missile squad for the scout here, but it would have been really funny if he decided to rush his opponent with double missile squads. But anyways, he's going to start harassing the Russian player. Or the Ukrainian player. Did I say Russian the whole time? I just realized his alliance name is Ascendance Ukraine, so it must be Ukrainian. Anyways, the Ukrainian player is going to go for double double harvesters. And that's going to allow him to go for a Temple of Nod and be able to go for avatars. Now, I don't know if we're going to get any Stealth Tank action in this game because Wadkaz doesn't have any air units. And generally, you don't really build Stealth Tanks unless your opponent has air units that you have a really hard time dealing with. Of course, you can use Stealth Tank against other War Factor units as well, but in this case, we're not going to be seeing anything because there's a lot of ground infantry units. So it's going to be a whole lot of those Cyber Wheels, and Cyber Wheels do a lot of damage against Jump Jets. And because Jump Jets got a nerf on Harvester damage, it actually he fails to kill those harvesters. I think he could have got one harvester had the jump jet still had the same damage against harvesters, but Wadkaz is obviously not going to just sit idly while his opponent farms with double harvesters. And he's already got an avatar up. Even though he loses one harvester here, he's all good. He's farmed up. He had enough time to power up, to farm up those crystals. He dodges an expensive 150 iron cannon from Wadkaz. Wadkaz, I think, is in a little bit of a tough spot right now. And, you know, the Ukrainian player is just going to go for another harvester because why not, right? And that level 15 max leveled avatar is just going to wreak havoc. There's nothing Wadkaz can do at this point. There is one Stealth Tank that actually does come out. And I think he's got that Stealth Tank ready just in case there is an air unit from Wadkaz's side. And I think Wadkaz just kind of simply gave up here. There's really no unit, like I said earlier, that is going to help him defend against this avatar. But hold on a second. He is fighting here a little bit, but there's a double avatar coming out. And none of those missile squads, no rhinos, no War Factor unit is going to stop an avatar. You know, once an avatar is out, especially when it's level 15 maxed and your units are not at the same level, it's game over. The only way you're going to deal with that is a couple of Orca Bombers. So this is why sometimes it's important to bring air units. Anyways, let's move on to the next game. Alright, this will be the second game we'll take a look at. It's Neutrino versus Nukin. And you can see Neutrino has 3 air units, including the new Orca Bomber, while Nukin's got that Stealth Tank with an Inferno Bomber and a Laser Squad. So Nukin's main aerial defense in this game will be the Stealth Tank and the Laser Squad. Neutrino is most likely going to try to go for mass air units, so we'll see how Nukin decides to respond with this. And I'm most likely expecting to see a lot of Laser Squads and Stealth Tanks in this gameplay. Nukin's going to first scout out with that Laser Squad, and Neutrino's just going to go right into the Harvester while he goes for his own Missile Squad. And Nukin's got his own Harvester going, and they're going to start harassing each other here. And Neutrino is most likely going to go for a Sniper because the Sniper is his primary anti-infantry unit. The Sniper is a little bit stronger now because of their buff, of course. But look at how much damage Nukin did to that Harvester already. It's already, that Harvester from Neutrino's side is almost already dead. But that Cyber Wheel is going to easily deal with snipers. Very, very simple, cheap counter. The Cyber Wheels are still a very good unit in my opinion. For 10 crystals, you can knock out pretty much any single infantry unit in the game, because Cyber Wheels do a lot more damage than War Dogs, and that's why I've always liked the Cyber Wheels more than the War Dogs. Anyways, Nuke is going to power up his Scorpion tank, and that's going to be an easy Harvester down, even though that Mohawk ship is boosted up, which I think was not the best usage of his crystals, because he was going to lose that Harvester anyways. There was no way he was going to stop Nukin's tanks. But there we go. A stealth tank comes out, boosted up with Nukin's Xana, and it quickly reloads. I know the stealth tank, I think, again, got a slight buff. I believe it was on his reload timer. So now it does fire a bit quicker than it used to. And even though that Mohawk gunship is boosted, he almost take out the Harvester, but one volley from a stealth tank is going to knock out these Mohawk gunships. And definitely that the reduction in reload time is allowing this stealth tank to fire more rapidly and much more quickly as well. And the single stealth tank is just absolutely wreaking havoc on all of his units. And you need to have really good micro with stealth tanks as well, because of course while it's reloading, you don't want it to be in range of that Mohawk gunship. But once again, stealth tanks are so annoying because they are so freaking fast. They're very fast at moving. And let's see what happens to this Orca Bomber. Can it even take out? He baited that Orca. He just baited that Orca Bomber to fire its bombs first. Wow, that was a pretty sick play from Nukin's side. And an Orca Bomber does not stand a chance against these stealth tanks. My god, stealth tanks definitely are very strong right now. They are very strong against any light vehicle units and pretty much all types of air units, because air units never have too much health anyways. So you can see Neutrino's having a very tough time right now. But Nukin's gonna go for that Avatar. Interesting play, because I mean, if you see an Orca Bomber and you see Mohawk gunships, I guess he's trying to base rush him at this point. I would just stick to the stealth tanks. That's what I would do, because he has a whole bunch of air units. There's really no reason to go for Avatar unless you do a base rush like this, but he's gonna fail, as you guys can see. And that Orca Bomber is just unloading his bomb. It's getting baited so easily. I feel like maybe the Orca Bomber needs a bit of a fix. It seems like it's very easy to bait its bombs, using like a very fast unit like the stealth tank to bait its bombs, and then, you know, and then you just run away. It's not gonna do any damage. Like the Orca Bombers this whole game from Neutrino's side actually have done no damage to his ground units. I have actually not seen a single of those bombs landing on a ground unit. It looks like that second Avatar is actually going to finish off Neutrino's base here. And boom, the game is going to be over. But as you guys can see there, that is the power of stealth tanks there. Stealth tanks are rapidly fast moving units that can kill an air unit in one volley and then run away. And that is what makes them so strong. And it looks like they're an excellent counter to Orca Bombers, because all it's gotta do is fire a volley on the Orca Bomber, run away, and that Orca Bomber gets baited. It's going to fire all those bombs, and then while it's reloading, it can't do anything. So it seems like the Orca Bomber has some issues, especially units against like the stealth tank. So maybe there needs to be a bit of a fix on how the bombing works. But anyways, let's take a look at a third game. Alright guys, this will be the third game. It's Big Boss versus Suzaku. And Suzaku has two air units. He's got the Mohawk and the Talon, which will easily go down to Big Boss's stealth tanks. And Big Boss has a very similar army to Nukin's army. As you guys can see, he's got the Avatar still, he's got the Cyber Wheels, he's got the Laser Squad. And Suzaku has two War Factory units. He's got the beefy APC and the Pitbull. Now I know the Pitbull goes down in one volley to a stealth tank, but I believe an APC will go down in two volleys. So in a way, the APC is sort of a good counter to the stealth tanks, because of course when the APC goes down, it also spawns the missile squads, and missile squads are great against stealth tanks. So I think the APC would stand a very good chance against Big Boss's stealth tanks, because his missile squads here, now they're going to get surrounded by these 2-level hired Cyber Wheels here. And I believe missile squads are not always the best counter to Cyber Wheels, because Cyber Wheels are very quick, they do a lot of damage, and it's very easy to surround two infantry units with Cyber Wheels. So at some point it can get very annoying to deal with these wheels just with missile squads. So I think Suzaku would have no problem against Big Boss by going into those APCs. But of course, Big Boss does have his answers. He's got, of course, he's got the Scorpion tank. He's got the Avatar. He's still got to watch out for. And the Suzaku's missile squad in this case actually did win the Cyber Wheel fight. He did some very nice positioning here. And with that Lieutenant Strong Arms turret as well, he's getting some nice damage off the Scorpion tanks with the pit bulls. But it seems like the missile is actually going to go to Big Boss here in the end, as the Chemical Buggy and the Cyber Wheel is just too strong against those infantry units. A stealth tank coming up from Big Boss's side. I'm not sure if Big Boss is expecting Suzaku to go for an air unit or something like that. Because, like, once again, guys, the stealth tank is, even though it's very good against, you know, things like the Pit Bull, if you have a Scorpion tank, because Scorpion tanks are cheaper, you would most likely go for Scorpion tanks if you want to deal with enemy War Factory units. Stealth tanks, you would primarily see them coming out if you suspect your opponent to go for air units. But now he's going to try to snipe the Harvester from Suzaku's side, and you can see that stealth tank trying to run away as best as it can. And the stealth tank is very threatening, to be honest, because of course, if you can kill the Harvester with a stealth tank in 2 volleys, that's a free crystals for your opponent. And you don't want that. You don't want any of those crystal advantages going to your opponent, because you never know, especially when it's a Nod player. He may have avatars, and avatars are very hard to deal with, as you guys know. In both of the last games, the Avatar was a win condition. It won the game for both of the players. So you definitely want to protect your Harvester as best as you can. But look at those Mohawk gunship. They go down super fast to stealth tanks. And this is why stealth tanks are so good with War Factory builds as well. It's because War Factory builds generally have a hard time dealing with air units. You know, the attack bikes used to be good enough, but because there's things like the Mohawk gunships and Orca bombers that can one-shot attack bikes, the stealth tank is now a better unit than the attack bike in dealing with air units, because it can fire and it can kill the air unit before it can answer. Now with the Harvester kill, there's the Avatar coming out from Big Boss's side, and Suzaku is going to have a very troubled time dealing with this. They're equal in terms of the base health here. He's going to have to surround that Avatar with Mohawk gunships. There's really not much he can do here. But the stealth tank reinforcement. Now, that's an interesting move. If I was Big Boss, I would have probably used the stealth tanks on that Mohawk gunship. Oh my goodness, that was ridiculous there. I don't know if you guys saw that. That was an Avatar blowing up and killing that base in the last second there. That was a really close game. Suzaku almost got the missile. I actually thought Suzaku was gonna win, because Suzaku got the missile. It's almost done building, but the Avatar blew up. Because as you guys know, when the Avatar dies, it does extra damage to all its surrounding units, including bases. I still feel like the Avatar is a little bit too strong, even with its health nerf, because it does a lot of damage, first of all, right, to any ground units, and it does a kamikaze explosion where it does damage to everybody else in the surround. It's like an ion cannon almost when it dies. So the Avatar is a very cost-effective unit. Even though when it dies, it will still detonate, kill all the units around it. So I still feel like the Avatar is a little bit too strong. And in all of these 3 games, you guys can see that the Avatar definitely was a win condition. But you guys also saw the power of the stealth tank. The stealth tank pretty much destroys every single air unit in one volley. Stealth tank is very viable right now, and it's better than the attack bikes when it comes to dealing with air units. But anyways, let me know what you guys think about these 3 games. They were certainly very interesting to watch, and very, very nice games here, especially the last one here at the end. Did not expect that Avatar explosion to secure the win for Big Boss. But I hope you guys have a great day, and I'll see you guys next time.